So I'd like to talk about spirituality and what use it has, what purpose it has in our lives. I suppose I've dedicated my life to the journey of spirituality, finding deeper meaning and um, maybe better values in my life. And so I think it's a really important context and a really important area to share with people. So in spirituality, we would say that the highest form, I suppose, or the form of spirituality is one that brings you to a sense of personhood. So when we're born, the idea is that we're not necessarily people. We're always learning from our environment. We're growing as children into adults, young adults, and then older adults. And we may or we may not achieve what's called personhood. So personhood means that in many ways we're embodying and living spiritual values in our lives, or sometimes called higher values. Things like compassion, forgiveness, the ability to empathize and put ourselves in other people's shoes, to take responsibility for ourselves and for our behaviors, to practice awareness and loving kindness in our daily life. So there are lots of values that are part of personhood, and very much a sense of connection with myself and connection with everybody around me. The opposite, of course, is narcissism or disconnection. So many people who unfortunately don't achieve personhood or aren't interested in spiritual values, it's not a judgment, but they experience suffering. Life is full of suffering and blame and disconnection and emptiness a lot of the time, and often we can become creatures devoid of meaning, devoid of purpose, devoid of connection. And from that place we can do harm to ourselves and to others, very much alive in the world today. So in our world today we're going through an enormous transition as a species. We're faced with climate change, we're faced with population increase, unsustainable. We're faced with an economic system that is very inequitable. And so there are many challenges in our world today on the surface, but also on an inner level. I think humanity as a whole is going through an evolution, a very strong evolution. And so really a choice has to be made in terms of our individual self. Can I achieve personhood in my life? What does it mean? And people who are engaged in this idea of a spiritual journey, which is really an inner journey that connects us to the outer and to everything. People who are engaged in this spiritual journey ultimately arrive in personhood if they're going in the right direction. And people are very humble, very ordinary, and yet embody incredibly powerful and loving values. So to say that someone has achieved personhood is they're very ordinary. They present in a very ordinary way, but incredibly extraordinary feat in today's world. Not to get hooked into narcissistic individual tendencies, not to stay lost in trying to just satisfy my own needs and my own desires and my own pleasures, and to be able to transcend that in some way and move back into connection, into connectedness. So an extraordinary feat that makes us incredibly ordinary people, people in the true sense, rather than creatures who are living half-lives and have no meaning or depth to their existence. So, for example, one of the teachings that I gave recently is that we have two choices in life. So there's our everyday human choice, the things we choose. Um, the partner, I choose to have this type of life, this type of job, this type of career, to be a family person or to be a mystic or to be whatever choices we make. And then of course the spirituality comes in and says, and then you have to make a second choice. So one choice is not enough. We need to make two choices about everything in our lives. So I really like that idea that it's not just one choice, it's two choices. So I may choose a particular person to marry, but then the second choice is to find peace and contentment with that. I may choose to live in a certain place or have a certain career. And then again, the second choice, the spiritual choice, is to find the peace and the meaning in that first choice. And that's, easier said than done. For many people, they say, oh, well, I don't always have a choice, and that's true. So if you're in a position where you don't have a choice, the first choice, you can't change your situation, then it's very much dependent, your state of well-being is very much dependent on the second choice. Recognizing that there is a choice, no matter how bad your first choice may seem, and maybe you're not in a position to change that right now, but the second choice offers freedom from suffering. Can I find peace with the situation that I'm in, the consequences of my actions right now, until I have an opportunity to change them for what I consider better opportunities. But once I applied the my spirituality by making a second choice, sometimes I don't need to change my first choice, because peace comes and happiness comes and contentment comes, no matter what consequences I'm living with in my life. So that gives us a great sense of empowerment. Empowerment doesn't come from, being able to choose on the first level in the external world of form. That's not empowerment. Oh, look, I'd love to have a new house, but I can't afford it, so I feel disempowered, disfranchised. That's not empowerment. Not at all. Empowerment comes from spirituality, the second choice that we make or not make, which is that, whether I can afford to buy a new house or not, I choose to be at peace with my situation. Or I choose to let it wreck my head and bring me unhappiness and feed that deeper emptiness, the creature inside, that isn't fully developed as a person. So thanks for listening today. If you have any feedback or anything you'd like to say in response to my video, I'd be delighted. We have a group meeting, a class every Monday night online. Just go to the website, thebeehive.ie, if you'd like to sign up for that. We do some interspiritual mindfulness with a little bit of teaching. So I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.